Hello friends, I am Prabhjot, your occupational therapist. Thank you first of all for voting profusely and helping me to guide how I should proceed with activities related to verbal skills of an autistic child. As I've covered the topic of auditory processing a while back, now I'm going to take it to the second part which got the maximum votes, which is verbal motor planning or verbal praxis in autistic children. So we are going to discuss this in multiple videos. So keep following the channel so that you do not miss any part of those videos and understand well how to work on verbal praxis or verbal motor planning for your autistic child. When parents frequently tell me, we ask our child, "What did you eat today in the breakfast?" They don't have an answer for us. I think their memory is not good. Can we work on the memory of the child? But what we do not understand is the child is not struggling with memory. First, such a young child could not know the concept of time exactly. So when you say breakfast, they might not know exactly what is breakfast. Or maybe you simplify it for them saying, "What did you have in the morning?" And they understand morning and then they don't remember whether it was today or yesterday, because as I said, the time concept is not that clear. Even if the child knows it was morning and this was the food, understanding you, step 1. Planning in their head what the answer should be, second part. Third part is knowing exactly what words will describe that, third part. And fourthly, the verbal output. So if there is a glitch in any one of these areas, you cannot expect the child to answer rapidly, to answer immediately. There will be a delay in the response. And by the time they think of an answer, you kept asking them repeatedly, they lost interest. 5 things will indicate that your child has a praxis challenge. First, facial expressions. You will observe that the child looks like they are not interested. They are looking somewhere else. Second, the kind of movements they show during play. In this, you'll find that the child is not showing continuous interest in an activity, or they become rigid and just sit until you guide their hand. They do not initiate the activity. Thirdly, activities of daily living. You'll find that they are less interested. They don't have any motivation to inform you about toileting, to complete their meal, to participate in bathing process exactly. So they like water play, but they might not like bathing. Fourthly, following of directions or instructions. You'll find that the child is non-compliant. You keep repeating the prompts for them, but they do not answer to you. And final 5th step, most important, start and stop movements. You will find that your child does not initiate. If they begin, they randomly stop in between. Or there are some activities which they continuously keep doing, like jumping, bouncing on the ball, running. They just don't want to stop. Or water play. They keep playing with the water, and even if you tell them it's time to take a bath, okay, we'll play later, let's take a bath, but all they want to do is continue their water play. So this all means that the child's motor planning is not up to the mark. Trust me when I say, if you want to teach your child motor planning, gross motor always precedes fine motor. Which means if your child's oral motor skills are not good, you cannot expect them to talk. If you think your child is eating food, they are fine, but why are they not talking? Because feeding requires a different kind of oral motor coordination compared to talking. Because specifically the thing that you have to focus on is tongue movements. What is the reason when a child is talking to us, we think they are not interested in talking? Because we have some presumptions in our head, which are, if the child is not making eye contact, they will not listen to us. If the child is not looking at the activity, they will not focus. If the child is not making gestures like pointing, they will not understand anything. We think that if the child is not giving facial expressions, then they are not going to talk, they will not understand anything. But if they have initiated communication, if they are telling you things even in words, or they are using gestures more than verbal language, please try to respond to it positively. Rather than saying, why didn't you say you needed toilet? Why did you just go and stand near the toilet? They were indicating to you because verbally they were not able to plan the words in their head. So till the time you are working on the verbal planning part, the verbal motor planning part, please start responding to these gestures of the child. Always encourage them to communicate in some form, even if it is non-verbal means. Another important message, if you keep the diagnosis of the child in your head, my child is autistic, everything that they do is neurodivergent, unusual, something that typical kids will never do. I deal with autistic kids every day, and my only message to the parents is trust me. More than 50% of the time, your child is actually acting like a neurotypical child. Every child has their strengths. So if you start thinking that my child is not exactly like a neurotypical child, then our expectations are becoming too high with our child. What we need to do is understand what are my child's challenges, but also at the same time work on what are my child's strengths. My child is really good with learning. My child is really good with active tasks. Why don't I incorporate in this learning of the child? You might have thought I was just saying general things today about verbal motor planning, but trust me, I gave you all the important points today. How? Start taking every communication attempt of your child seriously. Follow the pride approach with your child by praising and imitating them and responding to whatever they are starting to say. So even if they are communicating in a rhyme, you also continue that rhyme to show that yes, you did understand. So if your child says Jack and Jill, you say went up the hill. So they know that you are responding to them. You understand what they are trying to say. Thirdly, always try to not focus on just eye contact or looking at the person, but try to work on what are the strengths of your child. And fourthly, if you want your child to learn verbal motor planning, then start with the first step, which is let the child know exactly what to say by telling them the sentence they are supposed to say rather than all the time asking questions. Because they knew you were not directing them, forcing them, it will help them to be regulated enough to plan what to say. I hope this video was informative for you, so don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more videos related to child development. Please do give me a feedback of what you feel about my videos along with any queries or suggestions that you might have. I'd love to cover them on my channel as video topics, and don't forget to share so that maximum parents benefit from it. We'll meet again soon. Bye.